last Friday, June 26th, while the Secretary of Public Security of Mexico City was riding out of his house in his motorcade, he was intercepted a few blocks off by around 40 gunmen that shot 400 bullets to his motorcade and were able to wound him with 3 gunshots, and he was also wounded by shattered glass. He is fine and was basically operated the next day and out of harm's way. Sadly, however, some people died, including members of his detail, and even more sad, there was an innocent bystander who lost her life. Now, what happened? Why did this occur, and what do we know? Well, first of all, what we know is that the Jalisco New Generation Cartel was planning on attacking federal government officials and Harfush himself. Now, how do we know this? It seems that the National Security Agency, or the National Intelligence Agency of Mexico, which has also technically been disbanded by the current administration, was able to intercept communications that stated they were planning to attack the Secretary of Foreign Affairs and former Mayor of Mexico, Marcelo Ebrard, the Secretary of National Public Security, Alfonso Durazo, Santiago Nieto, the anti-laundering czar, and, as I mentioned, Garcia Harfush. Now, why did this happen? Why would they want to do such a thing? It seems that, first of all, Marcelo Ebrard was the person who signed the extradition agreement to send El Menchito, who is the cartel's leader's son, to the United States in order to face trial there and be imprisoned. Santiago Nieto, on his half, it seems that he had 2,000 accounts frozen, bank accounts, that were basically related to the cartel. And Harfush and Secretary Durazo held raids in Mexico City against the cartel, and Harfush, in the past, when he had been the head of the intelligence police at a nationwide level, held some raids in Puerto Vallarta and arrested more than 40 members of the cartel. Now, what does this mean? This basically means that the cartel has an open war on the government. Now, it's not the only cartel that has declared war on the government. The Santa Rosa de Lima cartel, based out of Guanajuato, their leader declared war a few weeks ago on the federal government right after his mother was arrested. Now, oddly enough, yesterday his mother was freed from prison on the grounds that there was no real information as to why to have her arrested. At the same time, President Obrador, in his daily press conference, said that the fact that this woman was detained and then released was an act of corruption by the state prosecutor who was in charge of the investigation. Now, oddly enough, what he says happened at the same time on his part. And what I mean here is that in the past, President Obrador has met with the mother of El Chapo Guzman, Sinaloa cartel's leader, currently serving life sentences in the United States, and also declared that back in October, when Chapo Guzman's son Ovidio was arrested, he was the person who told the authorities to let him go and free him from custody. So it seems that there's a very unbalanced situation here. There seems to be favorite cartels for the government and those who are enemies. Now, at the same time, what we're seeing is that cartels feel more powerful, that they can basically attack federal and local state officials, and they can do so in Mexico City. And this is strange because in Mexico City basically had been a place free of drug cartel violence. So the government has a very, very hard task ahead of them in order to maintain public safety, and if they aren't allowed, or if they do not reach the capability of doing so, the popularity of both the president and the mayor of Mexico City will continue to drop.